And we are live talking about Daredevil Born Again, Season 1, Episode 5, and Episode 6. And we got Matt, and we got the dragon. The dragon is back. Matt is
Hey,
there. Another great week, great episodes. So how are you, Matt?
I'm fine and happy to be here to talk about Daredevil. And this week we have two episodes to talk about, so double dose of Daredevil. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about that. And we have a dragon today. This dragon, yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
Yes.
that's Dragon. The
the
dragon
Yeah,
is
dragon
there.
no,
to talk about Daredevil, about comics. So yeah, I'm happy. So and
no,
you,
no. The weird part I'll say too is I was surprised they did 2 episodes
I'm
because,
not.
well, okay,
They
one was
want to get
30.
rid of the show as fast as they can.
No, like one was 37 minutes because the other was have been about 50 minutes.
I feel the five episode is the old version of Board Again because few months before the series was released, he reshoot all the show and some episode are delete of the story. And I feel this one, the five, is the one that stay just because he did not change the story of the show. So yeah, I feel that why it's so short and no need to other story or other this character. You have not fixed in this episode. So this episode tell himself about what is not in all the story in the global story of the show. But yeah, it's a fun episode to see. But two episodes, man, and 1 week is nice for a fan comic like me. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. And since you can already mentioned it already, we can actually dive deep. We will be quick today because I know you are limited in
No.
time.
I have some
So
time.
yeah, what did you think, Matt, of episode 5, the bank episode, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, the bank episode. The name of the episode is with interest. The episode is not the most interesting so far of the show, but it's a funny episode. We follow Daredevil, Matt Murdock, go to the bank to try to save this job, and he find the dad of Kamala, Miss Marvel, and some guys come to the bank to robbery the bank, and these guys are established before because one of the guy worked for Fisk. He need to pay some money, 1.8 million to Fisk. So he asked this guy to robbery this bank to steal some jewelry to pay that. So it makes sense for the story, but in the end, this episode is not part of the global storyline. It's just to demonstrate the psychology of Mad Modoc at this moment. You can see his timeline to come back as Daredevil. I like that because in some moment in the episode is fight. Yeah, some little fighting in the episode. I like that, particularly the last one and the outside the bank when he stopped the last one and broke this leg, and it's very brutal scene. I like that. It's Daredevil like I love, and overall this is a good episode. I feel some people not like this episode because you can see this episode is here to see. Hey, Daredevil is part of the MCU. Look, Miss Marvel is here. Miss Marvel is part of the MCU too, so you can see Daredevil is connected of all of it. Like Dragon say before the start of the show, you can see the fucking pop of Miss Marvel. It's like okay, maybe it's too much for the
Product placement. They
yeah.
gotta sell toys, this is the toys that
It
makes money.
felt the episode felt like I get what you're saying too. I think it was a shoe in, but it's also to tie the placement in because the one guy owes 1.8 million to the guy because he broke the he was tasked by Vanessa
Yeah.
because he had the truck driver shot.
Yeah, that the
That
purpose of the robbery, the 1.8 million is not the most interesting twist, but you can see is for connecting before the event where like to
The
say
event.
the
The
event
event.
like you say Vanessa asked to this guy to pay 1.8 million. Yeah, the connection is there. Like I say, it's a funny episode, not the most interesting. I miss to see Fisk, but I understand the purpose of the this episode is the one location with one little story, like little, not exactly that, but it's a filler episode, but is a little much of that. Some in the classic TV show, you have so much filler episode just to have like
Prop up
20.
characters. Build
Uh,
up things.
yeah, all the time is not all good to see and not memorable, but is this time is a good filler episode for the show. But like I said, I feel this episode was shot before the reshoot of the show. Can see that because the episode tries so many things to connect with the MCU, so to say, hey, Daredevil is part of that. And, remember, is important for the future. So yeah, I like this episode. It's not the
the bank
best.
is also, by the way, that bank. I was looking it up because I'm going to look that location up because it's in Division 2. That is the gold repository, but it's an actual building in New York. But that's also been in other MCU films.
Yeah.
So this is a filler. Like I knew it was like it's that strange thing. Like it had a weird formula. Like, and I do like the little quirky. You forgot to mention. I'm like, so he's gonna give the guy the diamond, then take it back. No, he put the diamond in the candy bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I had to go back and look. I'm like, so how did the guy not know he got a candy in a wrapper?
I don't know, but I gotta say something there. I feel like this episode you said it was filler, Matt, and I can see the argument. I can understand where you are coming from, and I feel like what they added with the reshoots and all, it's more like it's the moment where it pushed Matt over the edge because he realized people are in danger, in great danger, because Daredevil is not around. And if he was Daredevil, things wouldn't go that way in that bank. And I think that episode was more to drive home even more Matt becoming Daredevil again. I think the first idea was to connect it with the MCU, as he said, but with the reshoots, it's like to tell you, look, Daredevil is coming back because of that bank robbery.
They
So
also
I don't
teased.
know.
They also teased. I think it was the beginning of this one and the next one. Another vigilante there, which is possibly Black Tarantula, the one with the mask. They is like the guy because have you caught that they're doing with the show? They're doing like man on the street interview styles, and
Yeah,
they go, "Oh look, there's another vigilante around."
that was actually episode 5, episode 6.
So
That
there
was
you go.
episode
Yeah, and
6.
Vigilante, you see, I think he's Swarman, because we see the actor in the same episode talk to Fisk, so, and the Vigilante fight with the sword. So I think is the Swornman is a anti-hero hero from the comic. Is a mentor of Hawkeye. You see the character in the Hawkeye TV show, but not like he was in the comic, because in comic he was a villain before becoming a hero, and he fight with the sword. You can see in the last episode of Hawkeye, he fight with that sword a little bit. But in this episode, in episode 6, you will see in the when the BB Rick journalist show extra, you see someone with a mask fight with the sword. I feel he's showman because you see the actor talk to Fist. So I think this is another vigilante you can see in this episode, in episode 6. But I think we talk about episode 5 before episode 6.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
So
exactly. You're
five. The
right.
thing is, 5. I think it's not meant to, because the weird part is the lone part is not the important. But the weird part is, I'm just like, he cracks the safe. The father. It's not like I'm just like,
Daredevil cracking the safe.
A lawyer knows how to crack. Like, he goes, this is like a very forelocked, like whatever safe,
And he is blind.
and he's just, what are you doing? And I was like, a blind man cracking a safe. You don't suspect a damn thing.
He say the same quote like he said in the Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm a really good lawyer. So I think it's the reference of that for again to refer that delivery is part of the MCU. But yeah, the scene is little maybe too much for the purpose because yes, he's blind and he opened the safe and the dad look at him like what the fuck? How you do that? So yeah, it's the limit of the acceptation but like it's a Disney TV show, so it's not. He has some flaws. So yeah, I accept that
Flaws. Yeah.
flaws. So I accept that, but it's not the best way to show the character of Daredevil, Matt Murdock. But I want to hear you about the episode. I talk so much. I want to
No,
hear.
you never talk too much. Do you want to add something else? I like your take, man.
The episode five, I think
Yeah,
I talked all
on
I want.
episode 5.
Yeah, I think I had done with episode five. Like I said,
Okay.
it's a funny episode, but I feel like it's a more failure episode other than that. But yeah,
Okay. So I will let Dragon expand. What did you think of episode 5, Dragon? And
The
again,
only thing that's
keep
so
the tangent
I
at
will.
a minimum,
Yeah, I
please.
said it only feels odd because why did you need the reference to the Miss Marvel TV show? Then I look at it, I'm like, okay, so the Funko Pop placement threw me off in the beginning, and I'm just like, God, it's not even selling merch. I'm like, this is a rated R TV show. Punisher is supposed to be rated R. They're talking about an Elektra TV show too. So let's cross our fingers. But like Daredevil's success is coming because it's an R-rated show. Like I'm fine. They go, but there's a joke about Jersey City. It has a different vibe because like it felt like it was reshoots. But him solving the bank and then you learn Murdoch's backstory because he gives a name to the guy, like a listener or whatever. It's kind of like, he could have probably snapped and broke all those people like in front, but it's like he needs the reason because they've been trying to build a reason or a cause for Daredevil to come back. Because remember, the girlfriend that he's living with put the broken horn in front of his thing.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Because
that's actually true. Yeah.
She's been hinting at it. Now, we are getting supposedly the trailer for season 2. A leaked image is the Shadowlands. Now, Shadowlands is an entire different thing. I'd love to go over that at some point. But that's
maybe at the end of the stream
episode 5 is they're taking stuff from Born Again and Shadowlands. They've been borrowing from it for the first, and there's like, what is it, 9 episodes and 7 episodes next, something like that.
That's what I heard.
So this what they could call like a bottle episode, but this maybe was cut footage they shoved in. So that's what I say. It's a good episode. Like, and then he puts on the mask and I guess breaks his cane and he does the whole thing where he chases down the one guy. Like, yeah, it builds upon it. But it felt still out of place because it was shoved in. Because as I said, it was like 32 or 37 minutes. And that is the shortest episode of the season. And I don't think it's the worst. Because I was listening to something else. He said it's just like a bad episode. No, I just think it drops a hint or it was reshoots or done.
Yeah.
And he's also learning in this episode because he doesn't trust Fisk. Because you also see Fisk is having to be at grips as being a mayor as well as being the crime boss because he knows the docks are falling apart. Because the reason why the guy has to get the diamond is because I also want you to remember that one of the guys in the next episode was in the bank talking to Daredevil, the sanitation worker.
Yeah.
So it's a weird episode. It carries over. because the next episode is 47 minutes. So it's like, why didn't you just take parts from this and that? But I don't know. That's what I say on that one, though.
Okay, that's all you want to share?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess that's my turn. So, I enjoyed that episode, and that surprised me a bit because most of it happened in the bank, and they made it interesting. And I feel like it's very easy to make a bottle episode like that one boring, but I didn't think it was boring. And the ending, I like so much the ending, and how Matt found ways to sneak out and just beat the crap out of these bank robbers. That was great. That was peak in my books, and I really enjoyed it. And the humor is very clever. It's very good humor. I enjoy it so much. And yes, we had some product placement there because they want to sell toys, but that's fine. I mean, that's Kamala Dad, and eventually maybe we will have a crossover like in the comics or something. Um, and
I
I think. Oh, what did you want to say?
I feel it's more for teasing the future, like a new Avenger TV show or movie, because
Yeah.
Kamala, Miss Marvel, has a post-Kitty scene in the Marvel who she recruit the new Hawkeye, and she want to build a new team. So I think this little teaser is for say Miss Marvel will return. Somehow, like with a movie or TV show with this new young hero, so I feel it more for that. I think.
The Young Avengers has been The Young Avengers have been kicked around for a while, but I don't think it'd be an R-rated show. But it's decent. I mean, but the funny jokes, though, Americans won't get it unless you're here. The jokes about Jersey City being only the home to trash and nothing good comes out of it. The joke is New Jersey was a refuge landfill for New York.
That's sad.
And then it's just uh that's where that
Okay.
joke come from.
Okay, now I get it. Thank you for sharing. So I guess I will get back on track there. Um,
Yeah.
just Matt cracking the safe. That was hilarious. How did that blind guy just crack the safe? I liked it so
Super
much.
senses, apparently, because he does remember he has super hearing.
Yeah. I was joking, dlord. That
I
was like a
know.
rhetoric question. I know how he has. I didn't send. I didn't sense. He is enhanced. He is enhanced. Enhanced.
There you go.
I can't really tell right the damn word. Enhanced. Enhanced.
Yeah.
Enhanced. Yeah. Enhanced. He's enhanced. He hears stuff and he touch stuff. That sounds weird, but that's how it is. Um, he is a good bank robber. Like he should have chose that instead of lawyer. I don't know. Um, anyway, what's very interesting is the villain. Even if they are just these weekly thugs, these weekly scums, they are entertaining. And sometimes when you have weekly freaks, you like personality. You make them forgettable. You don't really care about them. But I feel like the villains that week were kind of decent. It's not Fist, let's be honest. It's just bank robbers, but they add charisma, and I enjoyed that a lot. And again, for half an hour, that went by so fast. Um, and the fight at the end, when Daredevil went after the guy, was just wow. And the staircase fight, I also like the staircase fight. We didn't mention it enough, but it was cool how Matt tried really hard to silence the guy, and how he dealt with the gun was cool, and it was enjoyable. I think the fight scenes so far with this show are solid. Um, is it as good as the Netflix TV show? I don't think so. But is it bad? I don't think so either. I think the Netflix show just had better experience and better people making it. So that was the edge it had. But I think so far, Born Again has competent staff and competent people working on it. So both fight that episode were very good. Um, I think my favorite one was really in episode 2 because we had a huge build up for that. And these corrupt cop, we hated them so much. They kind of deserve the beatdown they had. Um, but this week with the bank, that was fun. I liked it. Um, I I find that a bit unfortunate that there's not that much substance to this episode. It's an episode that's entertaining and fun, but again, I don't have like many teams of the characters and all outside of, oh yeah, Matt is becoming Daredevil again, because that bank robbery was really that thing that pushed Matt over the edge. Um, so yeah,
What pushed him over the edge happens. The problem itself is he wasn't really looking for a loan. He was just looking for the loan. A lot of it is the show has the small moments, and I'm not sure if this is intentional. Who's ever writing this show, the small moments matter.
yeah.
Like
I think it's all considered. It's all thought about. I think that's part of the reshoot. They really thought, you know what? The previous version, I suspect the previous version of the show didn't add that much Matt and Daredevil. I feel like a lot of emphasis was placed on the supporting cast and a lot more courtroom drama. And when they realized it's not working, that's when they came in with these reshoots, and they're like, you know what? We will put the focus back on Matt because he's the reason why the original show worked. I think this is what happened.
Yep.
So I don't have a lot more to say about episode 5. I think we covered a lot of ground. Cool episode, cool fight, and yeah, another building block. So I will ask the panel, starting with dlord, what would be a grade out of 10 for episode 5
it's
only?
not as good. I give it about a 7.5 out of. Like the fight scenes are good. It's Daredevil having to figure out how he is, because it's clear like people around him are learning, because he all but says he's Daredevil or something. Like it's kind of like, well, but the father also hinted at she was Kamala Khan, so like it's kind of like, okay, two superheroes meet. Two things happens. They either A, fight, or oh, we know who you are. But it's a good episode. That's why I give it a lower rating than the rest. But the actions are good, but it's also, I think there was reshoots, because when you look at the rest of it, it feeds into the later episodes, because you also learn that not all the cops are corrupt. They just don't know how to act.
Well, we got a Grey in the chat. I'm wondering if the Grey is available to up in, if he has seen some of the previous episodes.
And by the way,
I'm curious.
Gray, I should say, do not bring up the joke meme at the end of She-Hulk with about Daredevil in the black and yellow. No.
Oh yeah, that suit.
Don't. No.
They just used that for Shield. So okay, let's ask Matt, what would be your grade out of 10 for episode 5?
I think like Dragon is a fun episode. It's a cool episode, but it's not the best. We'll give like a 7.8 of 10. It's one of the most less good episode of the show, but it's a good episode for the show. All the episodes so far was great. So yeah, 7.8 of 10.
7.8. Okay, well, very nice. I will sound crazy as usual. I had no issue with that episode, and I thought that was a great one. Again, I will repeat myself. I feel like most of the issues I will have with this show will be with the entire season so far, because some of the issues I did mention in the past didn't really get solved with episode 5 or 6. So I think as an entire season I may have issues, but as that individual episode I have no issues. So I will give this episode a 10. I sound like a broken record. Like so far for me, that will sound crazy, but the first episode for me was the weakest we had so far, and the rest is really solid. Now, I mentioned a lot of tens. I think that one is the weakest 10, but I still liked it. Again, really good show. I enjoy it, and it's sad. I read and I've seen a lot of people saying it doesn't perform very well. Um, it's unfortunate. I think that show deserves more love, and that show deserves more attention. Um, so yeah, is it on par with the Netflix version? I think it's better than season 3, but it's falling behind season 1 and 2. Anyway, except if you guys would like to add anything on episode 5, I think it is the perfect time to dive deep into episode 6.
Let's go.
Okay, I will let Matt go first on episode 6. What did you think of episode 6, Matt?
So this episode is more like other episode we have so far of the Daredevil. It's a more consistent episode. You have two storyline, one with Matt Murdock and one with the Fist, like other episode. I like that. I like the way the show the stories show us that the two characters try to be something else and can be that because deep down Matt is Daredevil and deep down Fisk is Kingpin and the two try to be something else is not try start to not working great for each of them and in the episode Matt is Daredevil again. I like that. I like the fight with Muse is an interesting villain for the storyline. I want to see more of him. Is one of the most disturbing character created recently for Daredevil. So I like to see more of him. And the other side, you have Fisk, and then you can see he show he's become Kingpin again when he fight with the ex boyfriend of this wife. With he throw him an axe for for the battle will be more equal. And the end, he just beat this man up to the blood. It remind me in the first season of Daredevil when he do that with the door card of with the head of someone. He just smashed the head to the blood to show him he's the man. He not hesitate to kill somebody to beat someone to the dead. You can see the old King Fist here. I like that and I like the story. And so many things is going on in this episode. You have Fisk create this anti-vigilant task force with some bad cop, and I want to see when this arc go. I feel maybe Pincher will fight this guys because some of them have a logo of Punisher, and he think this cop thing is work like Punisher, and I not like that. So I want to see all of them dead. We'll see in the future of the show. But yeah, it's a big episode with some interesting thing. It's more a psychological episode for the show. You can see
Psychological.
psychological
Psychological, yeah.
yeah episode you can see Matt become Daredevil again and Fisk become Kingpin again. So I like the concept of that, and I like the story with the Muse and the niece of White Tiger. She tried to be the legacy of this father, not with the costume and the amulet for now, but you can see in the future the story try to build that because in the comics she's the most famous White Tiger. So I think the purpose here is to build the future of this character, and I like the story with Madeba. She go to the subway to find the missing person and this killer, and Daredevil show up to save air to Moose. Yeah, good episode, and you have a little cameo, like I said before, of Swarman. Jack Keenis. He was in the Archive TV show, and like I say, in the comic, he's a mentor of Hawkeye, and he is the villain and the hero named Swordman. His fight with the sword is a perfect sword master, and you can see a little of him in the show. I want to see more because in the comic, is interesting for the purpose of story Hawkeye, and in the show of Hawkeye, he did not develop that. So I was disappointed about that, but I like the actor and happy to see him again in the role. So yeah, it's a good add to the universe of the show. So yeah, so far one of the more interesting episodes so far, and you see the real villain of the show. I will say is Muse. You have Fist, but I feel is more villain, more Muse for the season one. I feel Fist will be the end villain for the season two. But for the season, I think is Muse, and I want to see more. Like I said, the character. So yeah, great episode. I like this episode. So yeah, I want to hear you about that.
Okay, well, I will ask dlord, what did you think of episode 6? Thank you for sharing, Matt.
Episode 6, I think. Okay, so we know the brief synopsis of it all because the first half villain is going to be Muse. Muse is a very rarely used. You haven't really seen, like, you kind of guess what he does, but then this is the episode where he talks about, like, in one of the comics, like, he is only in, like a couple of a limited run. But his powers they're on par with Daredevil, because that's why when you see him hear things, but like everyone knows like he's like, but if you look at a lot of the past artwork in the last episodes, he's been doing the ones, and now they're only like, you could notice his graffiti arts all over. Now, through the episode though, and I'm not sure if they'll do it, I thought the Muse was Adam, because Muse doesn't have like a precise origin in the comics, and you could easily say it was Adam who created, but that's probably contradicted at the end of the episode, because towards the end he's beating the shit out of Adam. Like, that's because this is why this is an R-rated TV show. Now, what is ultimately leads to the encounter with Muse and him getting captured is he does go after someone. Like, he goes after the niece. I think it's like initially. So Daredevil has to don the Daredevil costume to go do it. But at the same time, Fisk is navigating politics. Vanessa is very interlinked with Fisk and always has been. He is learning that, they go, you just want it for financial gain when you get out. Because Fisk is actually trying to change. So I have a feeling they're trying to tap into Daredevil's shadow, the Shadowlands. But I don't know how you're going to do that without the hand.
Okay, so I will pause here right now so we can address that without spoiler from the comics, because I want to read more Daredevil comics, but we will address that after the review of episode 6.
Yeah, so the concept, right, is, I think they're just going to borrow. It's a lot of elements. You need a reason for him to return to being Daredevil. But clearly the vigilante task force, even the cop, is like, you just picked all the rottenest of all the apples, haven't you?
The corrupt cop. Yeah, that's funny.
Because in the original Born Again run, Fisk tried to get Punisher on board by creating like the cops like with Punisher to create like a special task force. But it's a really good episode. Solid. I give it like a I do give it a 10 out of 10 for it. And the not choking out Muse because he thought Muse was knocked out.
Yeah,
Now, a lot of people, if you don't notice, Hell's Kitchen in that part of the lore for Marvel has a lot of vigilantes. They're like metahumans in DC. Some have powers, but Muse has what makes Muse really, really weird because I was actually waiting for that fight. Because he is supposed to have sensory deprivation powers, meaning that it's hard for Daredevil to fight him.
You can detect him.
yeah,
That's this thing, and he can go move fast.
But but he's supposed to have sensory deprivation around him.
yeah,
That's the thing. And Murdoch or Daredevil's powers operate off of sound and hearing. So
yeah.
it makes it a tougher opponent. But Muse is probably going to get like what towards the end of the season. So
Do you want to add anything
I'm good.
else?
I give it as I'll say it's a
Okay.
pretty much a 10 out of 10 for me.
So, I guess that's my go now. I adore that episode. I think, and maybe I'm crazy, but I think this is one of the best episode we had in the entire show, even if we consider Netflix. It's hands down my favorite episode in Born Again. Um, I thought the writing and the action were peak, and if this show has to offer more of that in the last three-ish episode and in season two, I'm all in. I think we can have a very good show, and it was very fun. Um, I have just so much to say about that episode. I did mark down a lot of things. I won't get over every single things. I will just take what's important. I feel like that episode we had Matt being haunted by the past and trying hard to trust religion, and it was well shown, and you realize you cannot do that anymore. And the bank and the girl going for his help and him trying to tell her the cops are there for that. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it myself. It's like, yeah, what do I do now? Okay, I will suit up again. That was great. It felt good, the build up into having Daredevil again, and Fisk building up that army of bad guys, corrupt cop, the rotten apple, as dlord said. I enjoyed that a lot, and I think the acting is solid, and even the niece character, and I don't know how old the actress is, but she's very good, and she is surprisingly good. um what else can I say? The niece of White Tiger trying to seek for Matt help was really cool, and I feel like she will be one of these new Avengers we mentioned. Um, and maybe Matt will train her at some point, and maybe in season two, I don't know, but maybe they have something going on there, a bond of like mentor and student. That could be interesting to have like Daredevil train someone. That could be fun. Um,
And you had something interesting in the comic, like we talk about Burn Again and Fisk, Mayor Fisk arc. And this arc, you have a sidekick. His name is Blend Spot. This is Blend Spot find the first time find Muse. So I hope in the season two, maybe in the end of the season, you can see this sidekick Blend Spot. He's an interesting hero from the universe of Daredevil. And I hope to see him. But yeah, White Tiger can replace take this place for the purpose of the story. But I like the idea you talk about training someone new to become a hero. So yeah,
I think this is actually the last thing they didn't really do with Daredevil yet with the 4 seasons we had. And maybe make him delete someone literally in season 2 to see how it impacts him and how he becomes. That could be another character arc. Um, but yeah, make him a mentor eventually. That could be fun. Past mental. Um, and I also thought it was very good how they showed the villain kidnaps people. That show doesn't think you're stupid. And um, Matt meeting with the friend cop was entertaining, and I think parts of the street interviews was also to tell you when Matt is on the computer, he sees some of these street interviews, and there are more incentive toward him suiting up again. Um, I think it's implied. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's into that. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like Matt sees these street interviews. Now I see that Matt. Okay, so I guess I will be fast. Kingpin trying to create an army of corrupt cop. I said it. That was cool. And the storyline of that niece being actually connected to Muse was fun because at first you're like, "Oh, we'll disconnect," but here's the connection. The people she said were vanishing are actually Muse victims, and it connects here. I like that. Good job there. They are competent at connecting stuff. Um, and uh, I thought Daredevil being back at last was amazing growth, and Kingpin being a monster again was also amazing. And I think the peak was both fights happening at the same time, and they really feel like two sides of one coin. Daredevil is the hero while Fizz is clearly the villain, and they rise up at the same time. And the action was peak. That episode was massive, and I'm glad we had it. And with that being said, um, I think I will give a 10 out of 10. That was a wonderful episode, my favorite we had so far. I'm looking forward for next week.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I've given 10 out of 10 for the previous episode. You know that don't make sense.
I gave a 10 to that one as well, but it's my favorite. And that one has so much substance. Episode 6 is amazing. It's a masterpiece. It's wow. I liked it so much. It's on par with some of the best episode the Netflix show had. And I will ask Matt, what is your grade out of 10 for episode 6?
Yeah, it's one of the best episodes so far of the show. I don't think this episode is a 10 of 10 like you say, but it's close. The story for Matt and the Fish and the way they emerge in the end when each other have their own fight is so great. And you can see now the main villain of this season is Muse, and if he is a disturbing character, I like that. And I like all the little thing this episode create the task force, the arc with the niece, all the works so perfectly for me. So I would give like a 9.2 of 10 for this episode. Very good one.
Okay, well, I will ask dlord. You already kind of answered it, but that's the proper timing for that. What would be your grade out of 10, dlord?
I'd give it a 10 out of 10 because this episode is about ultimately, like, one of the biggest things is it's a 10 out of 10 because this episode, most of these episodes for me have been rated high. And I am surprised they're doing so well with it. So, and it's the writing and the connectivity because she's trying to watch. If you go back, it's gonna be these are gonna be one of those series like Westworld where you go back and you look at the past. You have to go back when the season's done and see if they drop clues in the prior episode. Because even during the White Tiger episode, he's like, well, do you not know people are missing, going missing? And then we've been seeing Muse all season, or half the season so far.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
Bill. So, yeah.
So these were your thoughts, and Matt, I think you gotta go as you mentioned.
Yes.
Thank you a lot for joining us. And next week we will have you on again to talk about that. And Tuesday we talk about Spider-Man, No Way Home, and Eternals. I cannot wait for these two chats. Have a great one, Matt, and take care.
Yeah, Nick, see you soon, and it was a fun episode to talk, and yeah, happy to be there again for Talk Daredevil. So see you next time, and Dragon, pleasure to talk with you about that. So yeah, ciao. Sorry.
Take care. So here we are, Dragon. So that's the moment.
So here's the thing. They supposedly, like, we're just now getting leaks about season 2 of Fallout as well, which that's creating a buzz unto itself.
Don't spell anything from the comics, but why don't?
No, they're not gonna follow. They're not gonna follow the comics because look, one thing if I know about
even if they don't, I want to read the comics because you see, I started collecting, but is it good comics what they will try to adapt even if it's different?
So Shadowlands is a very legendary story because remember, as I've said, Daredevil's worked with the hand before.
Yeah,
because you know how the hand works.
Yeah,
there's a part where it's considered. See, Born Again was about Daredevil stepping aside and then re-bracing the role as Daredevil and moving back to Hell's Kitchen at the end because he had left Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Shadowlands comes off the heels of Dark Reign. Now, except for the fact Daredevil starts acting funny. He takes on a demonic appearance because he's been partly possessed by the beast, which is behind the hand. Which...
that sounds cool.
They will never do that. I don't think they would touch that storyline in the show because the shows are too grounded to bring in, like, the MCEU universe doesn't bring in anything mystical. Like, you're not going to bring it in.
Well, we had mystical with I get that all along.
You had that, but like they would have to talk about the subject of it would just not make sense for him to be possessed by the beast. So yeah, you could, and he, like, at the time becomes like, because if the suit again is a black suit, they call it not like the stealth suit. That suit is the Shadowlands suit, which by all means, but there's also the one because Muse is borrowed from one of the interlude periods leading up to Shadowlands as well. So that should just give an idea. Because we know, so rumors for the second half of the series, which is going to be the last 7, is the Punisher is going to be the main villain. Now,
I'd be surprised. I mean, they already did that with the show, so if they have Punisher being the main villain again,
Punisher's
that'd
supposed to be
weird.
bigger in the last 7. Muse is going to be the first because what they're going to do is probably capture Muse, throw him in prison or something. Because as I said, he's a border. I mean, Matt's surprised he got up because he thought he was knocked out. He does have regenerative capabilities. But it is surprising, like, it's one of those things of they could go somewhere with it. Because they're talking about, like, there's been talks to revive a Luke Cage series. There's been to even kicking around an Elektra series, too.
Well, if Daredevil doesn't pull up numbers once it's over, I doubt it.
Well, I think
Hopefully they will have better numbers once the season is over. People will subscribe and go watch it legally. But I mean, I
I don't
have
know.
low hopes.
7.2. We'll have to see. It's kind of like with Ubisoft saying jokingly that someone did journalism and said 27% of activations on the product of AC Shadows was on Steam. So that means there was 60,000 people playing. But Ubisoft doesn't give numbers. Disney doesn't give their streaming numbers either. Supposedly the show opened low because it's a Disney Plus show. No one is taking into account. I think in the aftermarket, you might have that bump of combination of prior watch to over. It's because there was a lot of remember Disney Plus lost like 600,000 subs.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was not a small loss. So you're talking about a lot of people are either looking at it, and it's also a Disney series. They also don't think Disney is pulling off an R-rated series because you can go back to episode 5. Episode 5, they weren't showing the violence, but they showed him like breaking the guy's leg.
Yeah.
But what have we seen in all the other episodes? He's breaking limbs left and right.
Yeah.
We're like talking like when he had to protect the cops from killing the suspect in the apartment. I was like, wow, all the blood all over the place. I'm like,
yeah.
Like, you're not pulling punches. But here's the thing as well. Daredevil is not 100% pure hero either.
Yeah.
He realizes, because you see that in episode 5 as well as going into 6. Like he's trying to toe the line, but he doesn't want to say he's Daredevil to people. But it's also in Born Again, there's also the secondary storyline. Fisk has also put a shoot to kill order on vigilantes.
Yeah.
So him bringing in the vigilante task force is part of the addressing in the original Born Again, the Punisher Corps that he wanted to create to help better deal with things as well as deal with the others. But it's like a modern twist. But the big thing in this, what makes this universe different is Kingpin knows who Daredevil is and vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's not like, but it's going to be how they do the climax.
Hopefully they don't play lazy and they don't just say, "Oh yeah, Daredevil's mad, so go delete Matt."
No, and the thing too.
Hopefully it doesn't happen. Like this is why I hate when villain know the secret identity of the people. I hate it.
I mean, it's also it's the same way. It's unless you just do the whole thing DC does with Joker. Joker goes, yeah, one time I figured out Batman's true identity. I could kill him at home, but I choose not to because I want to fight him.
Yeah.
But it's not Kingpin, though. Kingpin's always, because this is like the first Mayor Fisk run kind of thing before they did it official. So,
yeah.
And I look forward to see how they do it. Because you're going to have to, if you are going to go into Shadowlands, you're going to have to give reason for Matt to go into a dark place. That was the whole reason of the Shadowlands suit. And I recommend, you can find that in trade.
Yeah, well,
I recommend you find that.
I collect a lot. I collect a lot of comics. I read a lot of Punisher recently, and I enjoy that. I also need more DC because I realized most of my collection so far is Marvel.
Hey, look, I also sees other news. You didn't see. What was your thoughts on the Doomsday trailer? They said it's going to be cameo fest. Supposedly, it's going to be Cameo Fest from hell.
I'm worried, but that's a topic for
We'll
another
have to go
day.
over that because go look that up. Because
Yeah, I
supposedly
will
that's a
look into it.
Cameo Fest. It's going to have supposedly their
50 characters or so, and I
they're
didn't
bringing
see
back
Doctor
Ian the
Strange.
Fox. No, they're bringing back Ian McKellen as Magneto. They're bringing back Kelsey Grammer as Beast. So they're not done with a Fox universe, apparently. Never forget, those people are probably like 20 or 30 years older.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a Cameo fest, and everyone's like, I'm just going to be so happy with everything.
Blame it on goddamn Wolverine and Deadpool. And
Okay.
with that,
yes,
I'm excited for
Look,
next
here's
week.
the thing. I have this feeling they learned all the wrong things.
Yeah.
Because remember also at the end, the theory about the multiverse war, which is they're going to do Secret Wars, is do you remember at the end of the Marvels like film when what's her Monica Rambeau she wound up in the Fox universe?
Yeah.
Watch that get paid off. But watch it get paid off really bad because even though I like the first X-Men runs, I don't know if you've reviewed them, they are really weird films.
Not yet, but eventually we will.
The Singer movies are different as well. Because while I like Ian McKellen as Magneto, you need an actor who can stay on.
Old, man. How old is he? Like 80?
Kelsey Grammer. They're tapping Kelsey Grammer for Beast, dude. God. Let the man die or retire. But anyways, now that's other stuff. And on my end, I'll be doing my thing on Snow White, and you missed a truly wonderful masterpiece.
Dude, I will cover that once it's on Pirates website because I ate this shit. First of all, it's a kids movie. Second, Rachel Zegler, I can't stand her. Like, I think she's a beautiful actress, and if she can just shut up and just be an actress, thank you. Gal Gadot, she can't act. So no, I won't support this shit. And I supported lots of bad movies last year. It's to tell you, if there's controversy around your movie, good luck making me support it. But yeah, Monday we talk politics again. If you're available,
it should be
5
good
PM,
there. I mean,
amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, you have your usual stuff, I guess.
I have my ones. I have I think tomorrow I have someone sorter coming on to talk about the Snow White, and I'll cover the other. Yeah, apparently it is such a disaster. I would have never thought Disney but I'll give a preview. Like, there's a story on that because I did my thing on AC Shadows the other day.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a lot more to this. I don't know how you say there's 3 million people playing your game. When I say streaming services pudge numbers, Disney has done it because this is the thing. Now, I will say this in closing, though. Daredevil Born Again is going to be one of those shows that people are going to get by second hand or word of mouth. Everyone's not watching this live.
They'll watch after.
They'll watch after. This was the Westworld effect. A lot of people waited till the end.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully, they can get a couple of seasons out of it without it going the Westworld route. But Westworld also made the mistake of waiting too much between seasons. And with Daredevil, they broke it up into 1 and 2 parts, basically. So we'll see. And what's going to happen is they're giving about 6-month break because they said September or August or September, when they're going to do the last 7. And if they're going to do that, they're going to do the Gotham scheduling. And Gotham scheduling had a fall and spring showing.
Yeah.
that's a little bit more details. But if they could pull it off, by all means, it's a good show. And I recommend people see it because it's an R-rated Disney show. And they're doing it. So
I think it's more in the vein of at the start of next year because they just started shooting, I think. So it's not before next year. Even if it's not CGI heavy, there's a lot of editing and a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
Well, scheduling, I just say this. Scheduling says they're shooting for August. In August for the last 7. So that means the last 7 are in the can.
Yeah. Anyway, I had a blast. I'm excited about next week and what I do have going on. Maybe tomorrow I will be streaming a bit of video game and such. Monday, politics. Tuesday, Eternals and Spider-Man No Way Home. Wednesday, I don't think I will be streaming. However, Thursday we talk about episode 7 and I will be talking about Opus, a A24 movie I quite enjoyed, and another A24 movie that just came out this week that I will be watching tomorrow with my girlfriend. Death of a Unicorn. That sounds very fun. Outside of that, we just review stuff here. And we are out for this week. Thank you for sitting there. Thank you for being with me, dlord. That was a very fun stream there. Cannot wait for next week.